This package came to me from Krakow, Poland in June 2024. I found a horse that is very rare in my part of the world, because it was sold only in the USA and only in Walmart markets. It is a Walmart Special Edition Country Star horse. The first thing that caught my eye when I saw him in the box were his huge eyes. Yes, Allegra also has big eyes, just like Betty, but here we have a rather dark color on a light background, so it intensifies the impression. Another thing that I have noticed in the photos in the ad and that I had no idea about before is the holographic strands in the hair. This doesn't bode well, but the horse is in factory condition. It wasn't a toy, and I also suspect that it left its factory box not so long ago. His paintwork is in perfect condition. There are no scuffs, scratches or stains. Notice how shiny the paint on his legs is. The boots, or leg warmers, whatever you call it, feel as if they have just been taken out of the original packaging. The fourth boot was a problem. I couldn't remove it. It took me a while, but I finally managed it. Well, this one is a bit narrower than the rest, and someone decided to push it onto the widest leg. As you can see, his hair was secured for transport. This is really the first time I have seen hair in its factory state on a horse. However, the whole thing is ruined by holographic fibers that are tangled and coiled into springs, and that really scares me. The hair has even ends, visible original waves, so typical of the early 90s. I decided to wash the hair with a delicate shampoo and use hair conditioner to comb out these unruly holographic strands. Anyone who has seen my videos about Lila and Allegra knows that combing these fibers most often ends in them breaking and falling out. They are very fragile and very problematic to maintain. There really is nothing to find fault with here. The horse is as good as new. I really like this floral pattern on the fabric. Beautiful, vivid colors. You can feel the summer. Not to make it too sweet. Let's move on to the next problem. The plastic of the saddle and bridle. Some horse models, including this one, have a problem with the aging of the plastic used to make the accessories, especially models that were kept for decades as never taken out of the box, which someone finally unpacked. After years, the plastic became stiff and hard, and when trying to bend it by force, it cracks. This also happens with models that were played with. A moment of inattention, too much tension, and a crack. The crack is ready. Country came to me with cracked saddle and broken bridle. Here you can clearly see that we are dealing with plastic taken out of the box after years. Both the saddle and the bridle are almost completely flat. Bridles and saddles that were used are usually profiled. The row band in the bridle is glued with a tape. That's why it stays in one piece. It's the same with the saddle. I am a bit surprised that the saddle strap has retained its elasticity. The saddle itself, or rather its skirt, is stiff, and I feel that if I press it hard enough, it will snap. I can feel that it is brittle. Someone tried to fix both defects with superglue, but of course it didn't help. Let's look at the rest of his accessories. are the hair decorations. They consist of tulle roses, bright green leaves made of soft fabric, and ribbons sewn to them. That's right, the 90s. The decorations are sewn, not hot glued. Everything is clean and new, and I am very happy about it, because I'm afraid that the gold fringes would not survive the meeting with detergent and would lose their gold color. I decide to test a simple method of heating the plastic with a hairdryer. I heat it on both sides. When I feel that the plastic is becoming flexible, I start to gently shape it. I check how the saddle will fit on the horse's back. I keep the saddle in the band I want it to stay in. It will only hold once it cools and stiffens. And there is already a difference. This side fits quite well. To shape the other side, I have to fix it first. But how? A moment of thought. Super glue didn't do the trick. It's rather obvious it's not suitable for flexible connections. Anyway, I won't leave it as it is now. I removed the black tape and I didn't notice that my camera has turned off. But don't worry, at this point I still haven't figured out the saddle problem. Let's look at the bridle. The bottom was flexible, so I could fasten it. The noseband already has a small crack, but I managed to safely shape it and it didn't break completely. And it's even holding up quite well. And now that unfortunate brow band. Do you see which way it is bent? Well, not the way it should be. And the connection with the cheek strap is also torn and was glued. And all I had to do was just heat this element with a hairdryer. It's not a kind of specialist tool. I think everyone has one at home. All I had to do was just heat it up and bend it slightly. Now I'll try to hit the other side. And now look at this. Now it's like plasticine. It bends however you want and it won't break because it's flexible. I have a slight problem here because it's already broken and I really don't want to destroy it. And here you go, it's bent without breaking. Now I have to figure out a way to finally put it all together. I chose a 2-component epoxy glue to glue the cracks. I applied a lot of it and left it to dry and harden completely. Unfortunately, when I tried to shape the brow band again, it turned out that the epoxy glue connection does not like high temperatures and the adhesive fell from the middle. I do not want to fight with this fragile material anymore. I do not mind the crack, so for now it will stay like this, and it's much better than it was. So it turns out that Country Star is the most delicate horse in my collection. And it's not about the horse itself, but about these shiny fibers. Maybe it was nice when it was new and fresh. I read somewhere that collectors complain about the aging of this material. Another delicate issue is the plastics, which were treated here in an inept way. If the plastic becomes hard and there is a risk of cracking, it's worth trying to heat it up, and only after heating, when it becomes flexible, gently bend it. Otherwise, we have such flowers as in the attached picture. The same thing happened to this poor bridle, which cracked in 3 places. In general, I have the impression that this bridle is a bit too small, because whatever you do to it, it won't fit well. The cheek strap rests on the eye. So maybe a little about this model. As I mentioned, it's a kind of rarity. It wasn't a widely available model, not only that it was sold only in the States, but also in a specific chain of stores. Mattel has come to an agreement with Walmart, and sometimes they release such special editions. As for horses, I remember 2. This one and the other one in the set with the carriage. It was the Sweet Magnolia set from 1996. Of course, there was a dedicated Barbie doll for Country Star horse, Country Western Star Barbie. She was available in the basic white version, blonde and standard superstar mold, Latin American version in Teresa's mold, and dark-skinned in Shani's mold, all dressed in the same dress, shoes and hat, and all with a microphone. Of course, the dress is made of the same fabric as the horse's equipment. Ken was omitted in this edition. Well, it's just Ken. My Country Star is only missing horseshoes. It's such a small detail. I can always borrow horseshoes for a session, even from my Blizia. It's the same color, country belongs to the canon of Western horses, which includes several models very similar to him, the closest to him being the 1 year older Western Stamping Star, and another limited edition Western, available only in the USA, Show Parade. These horses without equipment are easily confused with each other, although a person with knowledge of the minor differences will have no problem identifying them. I am glad that once again, completely unexpectedly, I got a horse that I had never even dreamed of, and in such a perfect condition. I think I have mentioned it before that I rarely plan to buy a horse. It happened more often at the beginning when I didn't know that I would have a whole herd of Barbie horses. Now they come to me quite randomly. I never know when and what the next one will be, and it does not bother me at all. I don't feel the pressure to have everything right away, especially since the number of horses that interest me is finite. So if I buy them all at once, what satisfaction will I get from it? And like this, they appear randomly at different intervals. I can devote the appropriate amount of attention to each one and gradually enjoy them. I always have greater satisfaction from a horse that required some work, that was already on the verge of the trash bin, and instead of into its abyss, it ended up in my hands and gained another life, arousing the admiration of people who did not even know about its existence. The originals are also important, especially the ones closest to my heart, but the ones that I managed to save, I talk too much. As I said, this will be the most delicate horse in my heart. I have to protect it from light, dust and extreme temperatures, so under special supervision. For the views, likes and comments. If you are interested in the universe of older Barbie horses and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, well, I totally don't understand it. I also recommend my blog about my collection. Follow the channel, another video about another interesting horse will appear soon.